Lauren, you have to do this. You can't scream. You're not feminine enough. You're not dressing the way that you need to dress. I've been told like literally everything by people in the industry. Get on my bandwagon or don't, because I'm going to do what I want at the end of the day. Sleep Token are super inspiring in how weird and different they are. And that's always something that I've wanted to be. Seeing the women rise up as well. Courtney being just like a massive figurehead. Finally, the women are getting the praise that we deserve. Hey everyone, my name is Lauren Babic and you're watching Forever Loud. It feels really good to finally get it out. It was definitely a labor of love over many, many months of trying to craft these songs and craft the vision. So it feels really good for it to be out finally. I think it took a little bit of time to just kind of come to terms with that, since I've been in like a couple bands up until now. I mean, I'm still in them, but to kind of like go full force with solo stuff, I think the pandemic was very telling of like this big shift in at least my life. Because with Red Handed Denial, like a couple of the members can't really tour anymore due to like some health reasons and some life reasons, which is okay. And I think it took a little bit of time for all of us to kind of come to terms with that. So I think after the pandemic, when a couple of my covers kind of exploded, I was just like, okay, I think maybe people really like vibe with this and I can kind of take this as far as I can. So that's kind of in a nutshell. So it was actually a really small team. It's with my longtime collaborator, Lee Albrecht. He produced and co-wrote Breathe You In and Sanctuary, along with Evan McKeever, who is an amazing writer here in Nashville. And Lee did the mastering on the whole EP, and the other two songs, I'm Bored and Let It Die, I co-wrote, and Adam Bentley produced them. And then we got those mastered by Lee Albrecht. So it was a really small team of just the four of us kind of deciding like, okay, what are the vibes of the song? Who's going to spearhead which song and who's going to produce? So it was kind of Lee Albrecht, Adam Bentley co-production, and then Lee Albrecht mastering. So a really small team. I wouldn't be able to function as a human if music wasn't in my life, and if I wasn't able to kind of get these feelings on the page and on record, if you will, because it's kind of like my release and like my sort of journal that for everyone to see. So it is definitely really important to me in my life, and it really helps me. It's almost like therapy to me. So there is a level of vulnerability that comes with that, but I think there's something nice knowing that like your feelings and vulnerability can actually help someone else too. So there's that piece as well, which feels really nice. Yeah, I think for so long I've been kind of battling with this acceptance piece of like imposter syndrome. It's like, where do I fit in this like sea of music that we have accessible to us now, and like where do I fit as like me being my authentic self? And it was just a point where I was like, you know what, like fuck it, like this is me, and I'm gonna do exactly what I want to do and not really like try and placate to anyone telling me what to do, which is exactly what has happened over the 15 years of making music in bands and doing covers and stuff. It's like, not that I really ever did what anyone asked me to do, but it's kind of like an acknowledgement of like, hey, if you tell me what to do and I don't agree with it, like I'm not gonna do it. Like I'm gonna follow my heart at the end of the day. And for so long, like people telling me like, you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough. Oh, but you're also like too much. Like, Lauren, you have to do this. You can't scream. You're not feminine enough. You're not dressing the way that you need to dress to make it big. Like I've been told like literally everything by like people in the industry. And this is kind of like a moment where it's kind of like get on my like bandwagon or don't. Like be part of something or don't, because I'm gonna do what I want at the end of the day. And that's kind of like what this EP means. It's kind of like the beginning of this, like, I'm gonna do me, and you can either get with it or not kind of thing. Yeah, it was like no boundaries, anything goes. And I think like the one common theme is just like me just being unabashedly myself, which I feel like there's many sides to like my personality and also just my vocal range as well. Like it, as much as I love songs like Breathe You In, where I can like show off my like girly pop, girly fun and fierce side, I also sometimes just want to do a song like I'm Bored, and then also everything in between. So I think, especially now with this whole like wave of like radio core, I've been struggling in the past like 5 years to really like latch on to something and connect with something. And there's only like a select few bands that are really trying to push the envelope of being super creative. Sleep Token obviously being one of them, and I think they're super inspiring to musicians and should be, because the fact that they're so as big as they are and people are like connecting to them in how weird and different they are, I think that's super inspiring. And that's always something that I've wanted to be. Like I've never wanted to just like phone it in and be like, well, let's write 10 radio songs that will probably do really well. So just like not allowing these like moments where I could just sell myself short. Like I want to keep pushing myself and pushing my craft to as creative as I can, and just making sure that I love it at the end of the day, because I have a huge soft spot for pop music. Obviously, it's one of my favorite genres to listen to, and there's so much that pop has to offer, but I also love heavy music. So it's been like finding this balance of how can I merge these two worlds but still be super creative. So that's kind of like a no boundaries. I think like more than ever people are very protective of their genre and what they like, and I think it was like that in 2004, which is okay. But two of the songs on this EP, like someone had posted Breathe You In and Sanctuary music videos on like the metalcore subreddit, and they were immediately taken down for not being metalcore. And I'm just like, I think it's hilarious, first of all, but I think like metalcore's kind of become this like the new like big umbrella term for like songs that have singing and screaming, no matter like what they sound like. I think metalcore has just become this massive like catch-all bucket. But I thought that was really funny because people were complaining that like Breathe You In was like too girly pop. And I thought that was hilarious. I think like what's so beautiful about heavy music now is like people are getting so creative with it, and they're reaching to different genres to bring in to heavy music, and it's really, really cool. There are so many. Like I think the beginnings, it was always like early Under Oath and Linkin Park. Like those two kind of sparked my love for heavy music, and then it kind of evolved into the emo era of like The Used, My Chemical Romance, Panic at the Disco, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, like that era. And then when like Risecore came into play, like I was a huge like Of Mice and Men fan. Early Emarosa, early Dance Gavin Dance, like those bands. Even Attack Attack, like the Stickly days and the Smokeahonis days, like there was such a big place for that in my music journey. And Issues, of course, was a huge band for me. I think that was the standout band for me of the era, because they were the ones really pushing that genre bending and the boundaries of where heavy music can go. So they were quite inspiring for me. And of course on the other side of the coin, like Adele, Amy Winehouse, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, like girly pops, like big diva singers, so huge for me, to like kind of hone my more technical side and more melodic side, like really important with those girls. So Sleep Token is doing their own version of that, but I think it's still just not exactly what Issues quite gave us. Like Issues, and of course the whole like drama that happened with that band was super unfortunate, and I think I'm still recovering from that. Like just drama that was just so unbelievable that a band that good just crumbled like that. It's really devastating, and it still hurts my heart to this day. I went to the last show actually in Atlanta when they were doing their last shows with Brian from the home team on vocals, and I cried the whole time. It was just like so emotional for me. But yeah, Issues was like the only one that really did the like genty metalcore with true like R&B hip hop vibes, and I've been like experimenting with that side. I think you can kind of hear it in Breathe You In and moments of Let It Die and even Sanctuary, like the verses and stuff. So they're just such a big part of my life. Like even like early Emarosa with those Johnny Craig big vocals. Like I think that was just so important to me as a singer and as a creative writer. I think it's looking incredible. Like I've heard the rumblings even from like the songwriters in Nashville, like the country writers. And I've been working with a lot of them, Evan included. They're all saying like rock is next. Like it's next. And you're seeing like a lot of even these country artists here like diving into rock. So I think heavy music is making its stand finally. And I think like even artists like Machine Gun Kelly, like bringing back the guitar and making guitar cool again. And I think Tim Henson is really important to that too. Just like a bunch of advocates for heavy music. It's been incredible to see. And like I've been doing this for so long too. Like I've kind of like been the spearhead of the DIY movement, and it's been so cool to see just like bands that have been doing it for so long. Like Architects has been around forever. Bring Me's been doing it forever, and for them to actually break the ceiling of the scene and to like be mainstream now, and to see Knocked Loose and Poppy on like Jimmy Kimmel, like that is so huge. That is something that we really haven't seen really since Metallica. Like truthfully, like it feels so good. I think also seeing the women really thrive in this niche, if that makes sense. I think seeing the women rise up as well, and Courtney being just like a massive figurehead in that on the woman's side is so cool. Like finally, like the women are getting the sort of praise that we deserve. Like because we've been here, and it's just really cool to see Spirit Box be at the top of the game, and finally like the whole like women in metal thing, it's finally just becoming just metal. And I think that is so important to just like normalizing women in this space. So it's been so sick. I'm so stoked on that. My come up in like the 2010s on YouTube and just doing covers and learning how to sing, literally like learning how to record myself. And you could see my like evolution, like my vocal evolution just on YouTube over the years. I think for so long, like the title YouTuber was so like taboo. Like if you were called a YouTuber, it was almost like an insult. And like I lived through all that. Like I struggled with that title. Like, oh, Lauren Babic's a YouTuber, and I'm like, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm in real bands and I tour and I've played shows. Like I'm not just a bedroom musician. And I think it's so interesting to see now how all that's flipped on its head. Like bands in the traditional sense who, you know, legacy bands. You see like Lady Gaga being chronically online and making videos, and like you see, you know, I don't know, I can't even name one, but you see them now, they're making content, and that's cool. Like that's the thing you have to do now. Oh, let's just take Memphis Mayfire. Like they're making the reels, they're making the sing-throughs, they're doing. You see Daughtry doing covers now. It's like I feel like all of the YouTubers who were doing that from the beginning, maybe there's just like a, hey, well we had to walk for everybody to run kind of thing, and this whole like title of like content creator, I feel like is just a different word for YouTuber. It's just like a different thing. But I think it's funny how sort of everything is flipped on its head now. And I think it's becoming more accepted by the industry and is being taken seriously now. Because for so long it's like, oh, you're a YouTuber, we're not gonna look twice at you, like you're not serious kind of thing. Like you can't, oh well, if you can't get signed, like you're not good, or like you're fake or whatever. But it's cool. It's cool to see like the legacy bands doing that, and it's just becoming more of a family. It's like no judgment. Like this is your path, this is your story, and if you're good, you're good. Like that's really it. There's like there's a appreciation for the independent artist now, and I think we're also having our time, which is super cool. I mean, it's been so cool to kind of come up with a group of people and see like where the path takes all of us, because I think, you know, I'm still really good friends with like Andrew Baina and Cole Rowland and just a lot of the old YouTube videos that you see. Like we're all still friends, and I think that's really cool. And like we have a Discord server where we're all in, and we just share experiences and share resources, and like truthfully there is an internal community that we have, that where we all try and support each other, especially for the independents. Like it's been there was a little bit of time during the pandemic like where we all felt pretty isolated, and I think I can truthfully say like now it's better than ever. Like there is a group of us that have reconnected and share resources and share and just shoot the shit. Like we like talk like old friends, and it's really nice because we all have been through sort of the same-ish things, so we can connect in that way and just vent. And it's really nice to have the support system like that, and it's just been really nice. Everyone is really supportive. I think from like the outside perspective, I think a lot of people see it as like this competition, like, oh, Jonathan Young did a cover of Pink Pony Club before Lauren Babic, and it's like, okay, but Jonathan like told me I should do it because he thought I would do a good job. Like no one actually knows. Like we all like literally don't give a shit. Like we just want to see each other succeed too. So I think it's really funny, and I think everyone should know that. Like we all love each other. Like there's no bad blood. Like we all just want to see each other thrive. So it was so sick to like finally meet like Anthony, like 10 Second Songs, finally meet Drusif in person. And I had met Jared Dines a bunch of times, and Nick and I go way back, and meeting Rudy was wild. meeting Justin from Tala. Like we all knew each other in some way, shape, or form, but to actually have everyone in the same space and like see everyone materialize in front of you, it was so wild. It was a trip. It was a trip for sure. I think it was like 6 days total. And the first day was kind of just like everyone's arrival. So I would say it was like maybe 5 days of filming. Obviously, season 1 was a pilot season, and there was a lot of like ironing out the kinks and figuring stuff out as we went. So it was definitely a learning experience for everybody, but I would say all things considered, it went rather smoothly, but it was fun. It was such a fun experience filming that show. We decided to challenge ourselves the same way that we wrote A Place You'll Never Find. So we wrote Damage Control in a 5-hour time period. We were like, okay, let's do day 1 of Musician Mansion Challenge part 2. So we did Damage Control the same way. We just sat in a room and jammed it and wrote it in 5 hours. The other songs, we kind of prepped the demos beforehand, and like Baina spearheaded Design to Lose, Sophie wrote Alive, and Bradley did Tears Like Rain. So we, like, each of the strings players spearheaded one of the songs, and then we came together and just like bounced ideas back and forth online remotely. And then when we got to Sweetwater, we just dialed in the demos that we did, and then we wrote Damage Control from scratch. So that's kind of how it happened. Bradley Hall is insane. Like I don't think people understand like how good he is. His knowledge and theory knowledge and his like classic rock and metal chops is like insane. And he doesn't track guitar like we do now, like where it's surgical, you play like one note and you just like crush it to the grid. Like Bradley Hall plays parts in its entirety, and he'll just do it. And I love that because he's that good, but it shows the little bits of humanity in his playing. And the solos that he did on the EP, they're all just like in one take. So he's crazy. That's what I'm saying. And it's so fun to work with Bradley, like just as an eccentric person that he is. He's such a joy to be around. Like, such a cool guy. I was really lucky to do a full vocal course with Chris Lipe. So I have a full front to back course that we developed with like modules. There's a curriculum, like it's crazy. So that's been available for like over a year now, and a lot of people have found that really helpful because it takes you like from the beginning. It's like if you're a beginner and you're just trying to find your voice, I think like the best place to start is finding out like what's good about your voice, like what do you like about it, and not trying to force yourself to sound like anybody else, because the most unique part about your voice is it's yours. It's like a fingerprint. It's not going to be like anyone else's. So a lot of starting to sing well is accepting what your voice can do and just being really good at that. Because I think a lot of students that I've had in the past, like some of them come to me and they're like, I want to sound like Ollie Sykes. And I'm like, well, okay. Do you like naturally kind of sound like him? No. Well, then you're not going to sound like Ollie Sykes. Like, I'm sorry. You can do his same technique and do it in your way, but you're not going to sound like him. And I think that's a big, like, acceptance piece that a singer has to go through. Like, these growing pains of, like, okay, so I'm not going to sound like, you know, Sam Carter, but I can do what Sam Carter does, but in my way. And it's a lot of that. It's a lot of mental gymnastics. And singing and vocals is like 80% mental. So any like lesson I've ever done is more like a therapy session, more than like, okay, let's run scales. Like I'm not a vocal coach that's going to make you like do scales and warm-ups and stuff. Like it's really just a therapy session. And it's helped so many people just like come to terms with what who they are and what their voice is good at. And that's step one, really. He went through a lot of vocal growing pains, and so have so many vocalists. Like, so many of us have had these big roller coasters, these highs and lows of a vocal journey. Some with injury, some with surgery, some with applying different breathing techniques. So just what goes on behind the scenes of a vocalist's journey, it's kind of like you go through a bunch of puberties, like finding yourself, and your voice grows. It continues to change as we age. So it's cool to listen back even to my like old recordings from like 2009, and I'm just like, oh my god, I sound terrible, or like I sound like a baby. And it's because I was 18, had never really sang before, and it's cool to see over time. And that's why I always say to my students, like, record yourself, record every step of the way, because you're going to see massive changes over time. So it's crazy. The voice is a crazy instrument. I really hope to achieve just how far I can go with this. And I've decided, like, I'm gonna do the thing. And whatever is in my future, whether it is a record label, whether it is label support, as long as whoever wants to come on board the Lauren Babic journey, as long as they like understand my vision and understand like what I'm looking to do, which is push boundaries and be creative and be myself, then they can be part of this journey. And I think that's really important to put out there. Like, if a label wants to get on board, but just understand like who I am and what I'm doing, which might include more covers down the line. It might include still making like vocal courses and still doing sort of the organic like grassroots work that I've always done, and I find a lot of joy in that. And I think if there is industry people who see the value in that, then by all means, like, they can come on board. But if they don't, then too bad. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep pushing the ceiling that I can, and I will be taking this on the road eventually. I'm going to play a few test shows in the fall in like select cities in the US, just to kind of like shake the cobwebs off, and we're going to do the thing. Like, we're going to solidify the booking agent. We're going to get like, probably the next thing you hear is going to be hopefully an album. So it's happening. The thing is happening.